Right, when I say he's from another world. Hello, good evening, everybody. How are you tonight? Good, good. I know you might not see where I'm coming to you from right now. I'm going to be walking out of what is our new COVID sales desk. So, a couple changes for you folks while you're here. Our presentations are being done outside. We do ask that you wear your face coverings at all times. Porta potty set up right there. We have hand sanitizer, toilet paper, everything you need in there. If you do come to the sales desk, we ask that you enter the room one at a time. Unless you're accompanying a little one, then it's perfectly okay to be more than one person. After the program, viewing is going to be up the driveway to your left on the screens, which will be located outside of the hut. After the talk, Kim's going to run you through, give you guys some good directions. And without further ado, very good friend of mine, known him for quite a number of years, Ken Taylor. He's a member of my club as well, right around the corner here in Blairstown, NWJAA. For those of you who don't know Ken Taylor, he's the personality of this entire establishment. And Ken Taylor is definitely not from here, but from another planet somewhere in outer space. Tonight, Ken's talk is going to be for beginning astronomy. And without further ado, here's my crazy friend from another world, Ken Taylor.
Anybody else who's fed up with this mask wearing thing? I most definitely am, so let me get out of this. I'm trying to keep everybody as safe as possible. So with that, my ears were cold. It works for me. I don't know about you. Here, we'll put it on here. That worked. Anyway, astronomy for beginners. Who has a telescope? Raise your hand. Wonderful. 1 there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, wonderful. First things first, to make it a little bit more clearer, let me take that off. I'll stay behind my line here, I promise. As a budding astronomer, I needed to find out a lot of stuff. Coming to a place like this most definitely is the best place to come to, because the amount of knowledge that is available here at UACNJ from every one of our members is definitely the best way to go. You'll learn about telescopes, you'll learn about photography. There's a lot of stuff to learn. With that, I'm going to start my presentation here. Hopefully I'm not in the way. Tell me if I am. Move out of the way. Just scream it out. That's fine for me. Few reminders. Again, as already mentioned, maintain social distancing. Wear your face covering all the time. I'm allowed because I'm back here. We, of course, have a donation jug right there. Everyone here is absolutely a volunteer. I know this for a fact. I was the treasurer. They tried to get money from me. It didn't work. Everybody's a volunteer. There's not a single person getting a dime from here. In fact, we pay to be here for you. Visit our sales desk. If you have any questions too about what's up in the night sky, ask them, guys. Don't be afraid to. No question is funny, silly, whatever. Please be aware that when I am talking, if you ask me a question, if you sense any kind of hesitation on my part, first things first, I apologize. Second thing, I might give you an answer, but it's a 50% chance I'm going to lie to you. I don't know. How far away is that star? About 32 miles, maybe 35. You know, what the heck? All right. Astronomy for beginners. I never wore a yellow tie, but what the heck, it was just a nice picture. As a young boy, young man, I always wondered what was up in the night sky. Everything I see in a magazine or anything, be aware that when you look through a telescope at home, even here, you're not going to see everything and be able to see the detail that come out in a photography. It's another subject, but either way, end results is you'll see it, will explain it to you, how far away it is. Me, I might lie. But it's a lot of fun. It's really, you'll like it. You'll have absolutely a great time here. We apologize for not allowing you to go up to the scopes and actually look through it, but the views that you will be seeing are live from our telescope. I stand in front of my telescope to block it, and I get out of the way to show you. It's pointed right at Jupiter, whatever cluster we might be looking at. Let's start our journey. Keep an open mind. There's a lot of stuff a lot of people don't understand about space, and there's a lot between my ears. I'm sure you got a lot more between your ears. Your subject might be, you might be interested in the sun. The sun is what? A hot ball of gas is good. You? Bingo! It is the closest star to us, and usually I ask that question to people just for a test. Maybe you like the planets. First things first, I can tell you right now, I can see Jupiter and I can see Saturn. Mars will be up later on in the evening. So we're going to have some views of Jupiter and Saturn through the or on our screens. Since we're talking about planets, how long does it take Earth to go around the sun one time? Please. A year, otherwise known as 365.3 days. Really easy. How long does it take? Let's say, even though I grew up learning that Pluto was a planet, how long does it take Pluto to go around the sun one time? Any guesses? Please. A month, okay? Way out there. Anybody else? Just a stab in the dark. Adults, anybody, answer the question. Huh? 84. Well, nice thing. Well, I hate to tell you this, guys, and she was close because she knows it. Jupiter actually takes, if you look down here, or Pluto, 264 years in a Plutonian year. It was discovered in the 1930s and was declassified 15 years ago. In less than one orbit around our sun, it has been declassified as a dwarf planet. So things are changing constantly. This is not the moon, obviously. It's Mercury. Look at all the craters on that. What is the hottest planet in our solar system? Anybody? Go ahead. No, you. Yep. Hottest planet in our solar system. The sun. Okay. Venus, absolutely. Because of its atmosphere, it does have greenhouse effects, keeping the sun's rays in. It's melt lead on the surface with no problem. Venus. Of course, I'm not showing a picture of, we have Venus and we have the moon. I'm not showing pictures of Earth. Why? Why? Correct. We're on it. Not unless I came from outer space, which a lot of people think I am. But either way. Mars. Going to be up later. Some of the views in our telescopes here will be able to see the caps. Not in this much detail, but you will see a white hue on the surface on the south and north, the north and south surface. Let me go over here so I'm not blocking anybody. I hope. Excuse me. Okay, Mars has got 2 moons, believe it or not. This is outdated. I got to correct that. Somebody got to have to remind me to correct this. Jupiter has been discovered because of our space telescopes, has over 74 moons now. Saturn, my favorite. You will see in the views that you'll see even on our screen, separation of the rings from the planet. You might even see a shadow of the rings on the planet. Kind of cool. Uranus, 27 moons. There's 6 here. Believe it or not, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Most of these moons are not viewable. In the case of Jupiter, you will see the 4 major Galilean moons. And again, Neptune, 13 moons. And believe it or not, Pluto has 5. There's 3 of them here. I don't want to get into this. This is too scientific even for me. I don't know why I put it in there. But it's available online, and that's more information. And again, it does show you somewhere here the distance from the sun and all that kind of stuff for the planet. So it's really interesting that way. There's some videos that you can watch online, and I'm going to bring one up right now. Excuse me for doing this. Let me do this. And here. And I got it down. Don't worry about it. Look at this. This is actually a moon that's in the Kuiper Belt. Not a planet. Oh, nice. Hey, Jeff! Come here! I'm showing something different and it's not showing it.
I'm gonna pause that.
I got help. I broke it. What do I got?
What, the video? I don't know. Click it?
Yeah. There's the video.
Where is...
Sorry, technical difficulties.
Nope. I can close the program if you wish.
Let me see the mouse.
Please.
It appears to be stuck on the slide drive.
That turned off everything. No, it won't click there. I guarantee it won't click there. Well, it did.
I beg to differ.
Okay, cool. Different video. Now the one was in more interesting. Nope. The one that's underneath.
Maybe it's underneath. I don't know where your presentation is.
I lost it. Don't worry about it. Let's go back to this. Let's go back to go to that wherever it was. Star, sun, this, that, there, this, there.
All right. That was the first, that's the one we clicked.
Yeah, no, I'm going to click it again. I'm not on presentation. Apologize. We'll watch this one. Right now? That'll work. It's coming up.
Just run this one full screen.
This will give you this a comparison to all the different planets and some of the stars that we know of. Remember where Earth is. That's Earth. Here's our sun. Remember, we're way back here. Even bigger. And even bigger. That's Earth compared to that sun. Now, if we can get out of this. There we go. Look it up online. It's really, really cool. Or maybe your interests might be the deep space objects. I digress for the younger ones. First things first, the sun. The first thing that we saw. Never, ever look through a telescope, pair of binoculars, anything like that at the sun. You will be blind in less than a half a second in that eye that you're looking at. It will damage your eye beyond repair. So don't do it, okay? Now, one of my interests is deep space objects, DSOs. We have comets that are constant. We just had one pass by a month and a half, 2 months ago. Galaxies. My all-time favorite is this. This actually is a picture I did take. It's approximately 1,500 light years away from us. Light years. Let me explain that. Light years are not here. If I was to turn on the sun, click right now. How long until it gets light here? It's still dark. Light like water coming out of a squirt gun. Takes time to come through space. 8.5 minutes from now, it'll be light. Click, I turn the sun off. 8.5 minutes from that point, it'll become dark again. Light travels at what speed? 186,000 miles a second. Works out to about 660 million miles an hour. Just to give you an idea. So, this is 1,500 light years away. The picture, oh, thank you.
Light traveled a little slow today.
Well, I didn't know where it was. Can I see it? It works, absolutely. For again, the younger ones, light coming off the sun takes time to reach us. Anybody want me to? You? Mom just went, no! Yes. So it takes that amount of time for even water to come to us. Light travels much, much faster, and therefore that explains, very simply, how light comes through space. So this picture was taken in 2012. The light that was captured by my camera was traveling through space 1,492 miles years to reach my camera. And that's just giving you an idea. So a lot of things have changed even here. Maybe you look up in the sky and you think you're looking, thank you. Anybody else need towels? She squirted me. You might be thinking something might be a star like this. You think that's a star, anybody? Yeah? Okay. It's not. Tesla put up a car in space, got to be 5, 7 years, 8 years ago, and he launched it up in space. The picture that we just saw is actually, somebody traced it. That's a picture of the reflection off the car. Look it up. It came off the internet. Everything's true. It comes off the internet. All right, and there it is here, just to show you. The one thing I get a kick out of is the roof is down. Why? There's no wind in the gosh darn space. His hair's not going to get messed up. Heck, he's got a suit like mine on. Mine isn't as shiny in the front like that. I'm going to have to do something about that. Maybe you might run into these guys. You got water on my computer. No, you got me and the computer. So let's get back to reality. So you might be the next person. The younger ones in the group, guess what? You all are younger than me, I think. End results are you might be the next person to put a car into space, or at least help us get into Mars and all that kind of play. Some of the shows that are on television that are really good, especially for the younger ones, Exploration Outer Space, great show, gives you opportunities and many opportunities in the science industry that you might be able to get into. Most of you guys already got occupations, so you're done. Who has apps on their phone? A whole bunch of people raising their hand. Good. Great stuff. Because again, finding things in the sky, we know it because we look at them on a regular basis. If you want to, maybe the guys in the back might not be able to see. Stand up, turn around. Everybody, if you look up in this direction over here where I'm pointing, up in the sky, do you see the two? Right over here. It's probably above the tree line. Our tree line here. Nope, over here. Over there. Those two stars. Those aren't stars. That's actually Jupiter and Saturn. That's Jupiter and Saturn. The brighter one is Jupiter. Saturn's the other one. Okay? If you stand over here, you can see them. Definitely. Jupiter and Saturn. I'm just trying my presentation.
Like your laser?
No, I don't. Not handy right now. Do you see them? You see them okay? Yeah, Jupiter and Saturn right here. They're move your because it's through the trees.
Through the trees, okay.
Yeah.
Right there. Got it.
Got it? There you go. Jupiter, that's Saturn, that's Jupiter right there. Thank you. Saturn and Jupiter. Did everybody see it? All right. Thank you very much. Thank Kim, everybody. She had the laser pointer. Thank you, Kim. So, with the apps that you have on phones, you're absolutely going to need them because you got to know how to jump around, finding stuff with even a pair of binoculars. Things about the binoculars are phenomenal. You can really do a lot of astronomy with a pair of binoculars. The one thing I get into, I get a kick out of is that a lot of them are free. They're great downloads. They're easy. Once you get them set up, you're golden. Another thing here is Stellarium. Stellarium is a downloadable software that you can actually download. It is a planetary, like a planetarium software. I can go back to the day that I was born, over 65 years ago. Okay? You can find out what the sky looks like in other parts of the world. I've used it to go to Aruba. When I was there, I went there when I located a club there, and I knew what the sky was going to look like over my head in Aruba. In South America, so on and so forth. Again, different type of sky because you're moving different parts of the world and therefore hemispheres, and you're going to get different views. For instance, here's a screenshot of actually tonight. What time is it, guys? At 7:30 or 8:30? 8:30. Okay, so this is at about 8 o'clock tonight, just past. This is what our sky looks like. Anybody see the Big Dipper? Right here. Now, do you see a bear up there? There's a bear up there. I don't know, somebody was sitting at a fire, had a little bit too much rum or whatever, and said, looks like a bear. You're an idiot. I don't see a bear. So the next slide, I know it's a little bit more difficult for some of the people in the back. Do you see the lines on there? That's actually the lines that make up the constellation. Personally, I do not see a little bear here and a big bear here. It doesn't work, but there they are. The little bear, big bear. This is Bouteille's, Ursa Major, Ursa Minor, a giraffe. No, it ain't a giraffe. I don't know. I don't even know if they knew what a giraffe was back then. Strange things, but again, somebody made this artwork up. This is not the artwork. This was done modern, obviously. But anybody who, I mean, Cancer is like a star with a couple of stars out here. That's a crib. Get the heck out of here. Binoculars, again, are really a nice thing to start out with. The app will help you locate various things that you could possibly see. I can show you with a pair of binoculars. It is up almost now. Another galaxy. It'll be a blur, a little blur in the sky with even binoculars. And that is Andromeda. So Andromeda is easy to see. Also, the Orion Nebula. I have a question here. Go ahead. Orion Nebula. We're going to get into it a little bit more because that's a good question because it's very hard. It's not hard to explain, but it's another type of an object. So, again, binoculars are cheap. I'm sorry, I bought my first pair for $5 at a garage sale. Again, my experience here and what I know has only come to me within the last 11, 12 years here. Okay, so don't let me give you any kind of an impression that I'm God's gift. Heck no. These guys can attest to it. Go ahead, Kim. I know you want to say it. Star hopping. Another way to do star hopping is with a tool that's called a planisphere. Planisphere. And that will show you what the sky is, at least over our heads in the northern hemisphere. Okay? And that's set up by day and all that. But again, with the apps, it's not really feasible. Next. Pair of binoculars are good, but these are too small. Don't get little itty bitty things like this. But you don't want to get too many big ones either, like this. This one came out of that little car here. No, it didn't. Somebody photoshopped it in. I'm going to have to look that up to see if that's really a building. Pair of binoculars, again, garage sale. You can buy them at Walmart for $40. Really, if you get a good pair of binoculars, be a little bit more than $40. But, I mean, you'll get by. You'll be able to use them for, daytime, so on and so forth, the cheaper ones. But these would be better. This is Andromeda. You see Andromeda here? Andromeda is right there. And that is actually done with a very low-powered telescope. I mean, gosh, you don't need anything. You could do this with a $100 telescope in a heartbeat. So you don't have to get crazy. This is what Andromeda looks with a camera. The long exposure allows us to actually capture the dim lights in the outer bands of Andromeda. Actually, that's another galaxy behind Andromeda, and this is another galaxy, again, behind Andromeda. Again, that's wrong. This is, okay, that's not wrong. But it is about 2.5 million light years away. When you get your binoculars, learn how to locate Andromeda, the light that you're going to be seeing with your eye has been traveling through space for 2.5 million years. Types of telescopes. Here's a few different ones that you can look at. First one is a Newtonian. Again, the light comes in the one end of the telescope. hits a mirror, hits another mirror here, and comes out to your eye. This is an SCT, which is called a Schmidt-Cassegrain telescope. Remember that? There's going to be a test at the end. Not. Again, also, it is called a reflecting telescope. Why is it called a reflecting telescope? Why? Because it reflects the light. Go ahead. You can see. Anybody else?
Yes.
It's a mirror. This is done with mirrors, obviously. Then you have a telescope that a pirate would have used. I'm using the language so the kids can understand me. Just like they stretched it out and they look at the light comes in the end, it goes through one lens, another lens, and then out to your eye. Again, so 2 different types of telescopes. Story. Friend of mine and how I got involved with astronomy. Happened to bring home a telescope similar to this design. Went over, hey, what's going on? Ah, yeah, he's a garbage man. Pick up a telescope, somebody put it out at the curb, so on and so forth. I can't get it to work. Go get it, what the heck? I know nothing about telescopes at this time. Go get it, put it out. He puts it out, he says, that's what I mean. That's the moon right there, and I can't, it just doesn't work. Do me a favor, I told him. Step away from the telescope. He stepped away like this. I went like this. Did you want to see the moon? Here. He had that end facing into the sky, this end at the ground. He was looking at his deck. I'm sorry, you ain't going to see anything but a blurry ant. That's what I was waiting for, the giggle. Mounts. Again, you don't need an expensive telescope. Again, with the app, you can get an inexpensive telescope like this here and be able to point it up in the sky and find things. And you'll be able to view them. Planets, definitely. So this is another manual mount. This is a manual mount, a little bit more sophisticated with the weights on the end. So mounts are what hold the telescope nice and still. With the cheaper lower end telescope on this side, about $100 to $150, $200 maybe maximum. On this side, maybe a little bit more, $250 to $300, $400. That was my pointer. These are the types of telescopes that we have here, which are more computerized. Once we set them up and we have them properly aligned to the sky over our heads, because I move mine all the time and I have to align it each time. These are computerized, so therefore you'd be able to see, I'm sorry people, you'd be able to see stuff that much more quickly if you know a little bit more about the sky. Doesn't take a lot. Look at me. I'm one of the dullest bulbs in the bunch here. So don't buy a telescope like this. This guy's nuts. It's a 32-inch Newtonian telescope. Well, that's actually called a Dobsonian because of its design. I just killed my alien. Love to laugh. Astronomy is a hobby from 8 to 80. I just really kicked myself in the butt because of me getting involved so late in life. You'll have an opportunity to use equipment today. You can actually take your mobile phone, if it's hooked up properly to the computerized telescope, and go, it'll move my telescope wirelessly. They're Bluetooth. So again, there's a lot out there that I'm not utilizing, but they're out there, and don't get me wrong, they're a little bit more expensive. No, I mean, it's a really cool hobby. Look at us. We're closed as of the end of October. So again, what we wound up doing is we go and do a lot of our photography in the wintertime. As you can see here, this is one of our major astrophotographers who just passed away. But we used to go out here, you bring a shovel, you'd shovel the snow out of the way, and we use it. One of the darkest places in New Jersey is right here. Look at this poor guy. This guy, if you'll notice here, this is quite a large telescope. It's not a cheap telescope. It's like maybe $1,000. But it's also manual. His name is Greg Takish. He usually comes up here. He lives in Vernon, but that's a manual telescope. This man knows the sky so well, he will take his manual telescope and go, do you want to see a star cluster? Okay. Take a peek. You know, boom. So again, it comes with time and knowledge. That's actually my scope here. Of course, there's very good viewing in the summertime, even right now over our heads. Thank God the smoke is cleared. But again, we set up in the fields here with personal telescopes. If you have a telescope, bring it up. We'll help you out. That's what we're here for. We just want to help people out to enjoy the sky, get a little bit more knowledge. And I'll teach some of the younger guys and people here how to find a North Star, everything once I get out by my scope. You'll notice, please, that, you know, we have viewers here, telescopes here, here, here. You have telescopes in the back here, but all these people are looking up in the sky and they're looking over here. One of the biggest things that is really cool, anybody seen the International Space Station go over? There you go. Here, because of the sky being one, clear, two, we have a good amount of sky to look through. They were looking, we called them out of the lecture hall area, which you guys are not in, and they all came outside, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. Created a lot of excitement. You're at UACNJ. The one thing that's cool about this place is that we have 7 permanent scopes basically here. If we were allowed to go up and put our eye up against, you'd be able to compare views in each telescope. Again, getting knowledge of which telescope you might want to try to invest in or look for. My first telescope, to be honest with you, I bought on Craigslist. The guy would happen to be coming up to Connecticut. I met him on the turnpike, purchased it, cost me $600. It's about the same size as the telescope that I currently have. The other good thing is here, you'll notice back here is a pad. It's a little bit more, developed right now in that back area. We have an electrical hot. This will have the largest non-publicly owned telescope east of the Mississippi. I'll show that later on in my presentation. We also have another telescope that's going to be here hopefully within the next year, maybe year and a half. And that's a 25-inch telescope. It will be in its own building. And it will be in that opened area where there are people parked with cars there. It'll be in this opened area between the house and those first row of cars. A lot of stuff going on here. Again, the telescope I was talking about was 48 inches. I said non-publicly owned. We happen to have a member here. He's crazy. I think he's nuts. But basically, he wanted not to be outdone. He went out and bought himself a brand new 51-inch in diameter mirrored telescope. Guess what? It's also located less than 6 miles from our location right here. So you might be able to go over to his home where we have our meetings. It's the club I belong to, which is called Northwest Jersey Astronomical Society. Here's the telescope. This is a decommissioned ICBM tracking telescope from the U.S. Air Force. It was put up for adoption in 2008. There was criterion that we had to qualify to actually get the government to gift it to us. We do have some parts of it in a couple of trailers in the back, and we had to have a data-producing, scholastically applied program that was also federally funded. We have actually 2 projects like that, one of which could use that telescope. They said, fine, no problem, it's yours. Come pick it up. Yeah, where do we got to go? New Mexico. Together with NJIT, which was the scholastically applied, had been granted the program that it was going to use it scientifically, was able to incorporate it into a program. We got the telescope. Hopefully that will be up within the next. It's been a long time coming. It's been very tough. There's a lot in outer space that you can see here from New Jersey. All you got to do is look up, showing a small part above your heads. Another thing, when you're out in the fields here, do yourself a favor. Yes, go look at the screens, go over there. Look up in the sky. You might be able to see a star moving, actually in your eye. And it won't be blinking lights on the left and the right side of it. But that'll be a satellite. We see a lot of satellites overhead coming up. I got 3/4 of the people going, where? Get the app. It's on a phone. You can get the app. Honest to God. Again, the reminders about donations and all that stuff. That's the end of my presentation. I'm trying to make it short. Thank you very much. Questions? Anybody? I'm not going to lie to you. I'll tell you I don't know it if it's asked me a question. If not, you're ready to go. Right now, there's a single telescope opened up. I'll have mine up in another 15 minutes maybe, and we'll go from there. All right.
Was there any questions? Hands up if you had a question. Oh, we have one question. Let me come to you.
So my question is about the moons.
Yes.
So the bigger the planet, more the moons, or the further away from the sun, more the moons?
I don't quite understand the question.
So as we move away from the sun, the number of moons tend to increase, and it also seems to be related to the size of the planet.
Gravitational pull.
So
Yes.
the size.
Most definitely. That's why you have 60, I believe it's 69 moons on Saturn and 72, 74 moons with Jupiter. Again, it was proven on the International Space Station. Here you go. The International Space Station, hey, Bob, I'm all done with my project here. I wanted to try something else out. Yeah, go ahead, Jim. Jim takes out a bag in the International Space Station. Guess what? And this goes to your question. It had sugar in it, or salt, or sand. I'm not quite sure. I don't remember exactly what. He says, I just got this here. And he shook the bag in the International Space Station, which, of course, threw the stuff all over the place inside the bag. But guess what? Over a short period of time, the individual grains came together and started creating clumps. Matter creates gravity. More matter, more gravity. Ergo, more moons on Jupiter.
Right. I know a couple people were looking to leave, so before we get back to any questions, a couple things to note. To my right, your left, we do have the porta potty should you need the facilities. Like they said before, we do have a gift shop right behind me through the door. We do ask that one person at a time, unless you are with small children, please supervise your children. We don't want them running away. It's very hard to find small children in the dark.
In the dark? Yeah.
They run faster than me. That being said, we do have at least one scope open now. Ken will be opening his scope. Unfortunately, like he said, we cannot have you viewing through the eyepieces because the sanitation needed between each person would actually destroy the equipment after prolonged doing this. So, but we do have our cameras set up to look through the telescope and live broadcast those images to you. As you are deciding you are done and you would like to leave, please use your headlights. Ken, please turn off your mic. Mic's off. All right. Please use your headlights. We do like to be safe, and we don't like anyone running over. It hurts. Don't ask me how I know. And with that, were there any other questions? Anyone? Let me just check our online audience that I shoved in my pocket here. All right. Our online audience says we're okay to go. So thank you very much, guys, for coming. And have a good night.
If you happen